Welcome, everyone, for this event. We are very excited for you to be here. It's one-sided. Everybody's on one side of the room. I don't know why y'all don't want to be on that side, but we're good. We're good. We can just face this way. So, yeah. Well, we are very pleased to have Mr. Jose Segarra here. He has an extremely impressive bio that I'm going to read. Mr. Segarra has been a resident of Killeen since 1992 after serving 10 years in the U.S. Army. He arrived to Fort Hood in 1991 after serving a tour in Korea, and in 1991 he deployed with the 1st Cavalry Division during Desert Storm. 1st Cavalry, woo! Jose was born in Ponce, Puerto Rico, and at the age of 3, his family moved to Chicago, where he was raised before joining the Army in 1982. He is the former mayor, past council member, and just recently reelected again as council member at large for the city of Killeen. He has served in various leadership positions throughout the community, including Killeen Temple Metropolitan Organization, Central Texas Council of Governments, and local chamber boards, and currently serves on the Texas Workforce Board and the Scott and White Hospital Advisory Board. What do we have time? He is also the broker and owner of Home Vets Realty LLC, which opened in 2005 and currently has over 25 licensed real estate agents that serve the Killeen, Temple, Austin, Houston, Waco, and San Antonio areas. He is also served as the president of the Fort Hood Area Association of Realtors and regional vice president of the Texas Association of Realtors in Austin. He has been a resident of Killeen since leaving the Army in 1992 and has been highly involved in helping make Killeen, a community with large veteran population, a great place to live for both active and retired veterans. So thank you and welcome.
Thank you and good afternoon, everybody. And this is a bigger crowd than what normally shows up at the city council. So unless we're doing something bad, if they think we're doing something bad, we'll be standing room only. So that's good. The high school kids found out a politician was coming. Thank you for inviting me. This is great, and this is when I get breaks when I get to these special events like this. I always enjoy it. But my topics, they said my topics is why is voting important? Just kind of talk about me. So I want to start why voting is important. Something that happened here locally last year, and I'm going to read the story because this is from the Killeen Daily Herald to kind of tell you why voting is important. With all mail-in ballots not counted in the first Killeen City Council election, the race between and Steve has ended in a tie about the importance of voting. And so now it's going into a runoff according to unofficial results. And so, and either one of them had a couple of more votes. They had to do that, but because it ended up in a tie, then we had to do a runoff. Campaign again, spend money again. There is an example of why it is important. That's not the first time at a local level. We've had elections in the past that had won by 1 vote or 2 votes. In Killeen, with about 30,000 plus registered voters, voter turnout is usually pretty low. It's not that. Unless it's a major election to city council. And if you really think about it, when it comes to issues, I know there's national issues, there's state issues, local issues, but think about it. Which ones are the ones that affect your local issues? Those are the ones. And I always kid around because I usually have more people complaining when they're not said, wow, I got more calls complaining than people that actually went and voted. Well, hopefully they'll all go out and vote. So I want to just kind of get started with that part and just talk about the importance of voting. I know it's Hispanic Heritage Month, so I kind of want to put that part in there too. And, you know, the Hispanic vote, tremendous, you know, it just continues to make this. And it wasn't until, I think it was what, 1965, was it initiated. Prior to that, in order for you to vote, you had to be English, you had to take an English proficiency test. Take it. And then they had poll tax. It's like, you want to vote, you got to pay tax. And it's like, wow, didn't know that. I wasn't around, I was like, kid. It's like, wow. So when you tell people that, you know, why do you want to vote? I mean, think about the pioneers that overcame all of those challenges, and we can go back further, you know, with women and minorities and stuff like that. But just as recently as 1975 is when they did away with the language and they changed those ballots to Spanish. So it's like, wow, that's right. So there's been battles just to get to this point, and those will continue on. So when you explain that to people, it's like, it comes down to local level stuff and all plain and stuff like that. Nothing wrong with that, you know, they need to be, but the importance is of getting out and voting, not just because there's issues out there. The other important part of it is when politicians, whether it's the state level or the national level, they're trying to see how much money a community gets. We need money for roads. We need money, whatever it is. Believe me, they look at that vote count and the community says, well, you have such a small percentage of votes. You know, we're not going to look at them as favorably as another community. They have a much larger count. And so when it comes to divvy out, and that's what they're going to look at because that's going to be their biggest and largest voting base. So that is the importance right there. And when it comes to the federal level, I mean, a lot of times for politicians, but like this year, you know, a lot of them, it's you know, when it comes to the state politicians, I think this year it's based on issues, right? What are some of the issues here that we're going to deal with? I mean, the healthcare border is going to be big. And at the national gas prices, vote on that. So there's a lot of issues that are going to be considered when you pull that lever or push that button in the voting group. Tremendous effects. And a lot of times those are the things that are going to get us. When it comes to the state, there's a lot of races that are governor race, comptroller, just about everybody, the state house. Districting. So every time we do redistricting, we get new people, not new people, but we have Kristen too. That's on a federal. What's his name? August. So that's important on the state level. Getting back, you know, speaking about the Texas, I just wanted to kind of highlight some of the numbers here because this year we had some classes. What was it? It was 2 years ago, 2020. Did a new census. Every 10 years we do the census, right? Those have a major impact. Obviously, that is one of the reasons why we don't redistrict. It came out of that census that we did. So districts are drawn. But also out of that, and I just want to highlight some of these numbers because these are very interesting. The state population grew from 25.1 million to 29.1 million, which is a 15% increase from the last census. And this was 2 years ago, and I can tell you that that's probably any time else, within the last 2 years, I can tell you that it's grown. And since it is Hispanic Heritage Month, I want some of the Hispanic calculations here. The Latino population, it grew from 9.5 million to 11.4 million. This is just in Texas, and that's a 20% increase. And the Latino population was nearly 49.5% of the state's population. They're a major player there. Gonna be, it's just, it's a vote. So the Latino population grew more than any other population. The state's population that is Latino, 37.6 to 39.3. When it comes to voting, the Latino turnout, and this is coming up in our next election, which is in November, is expected to be about 1.8 million. So you can see there's a gap in there. But we just got to educate people. And it's a lot of education, all that are educated. And there's one news, and this is the one that was just up there. You may have heard this in the news. This just came out recently. It says Texas may have passed long-awaited milestone, the point where Hispanic residents make up more of the state's population than white residents. That's just something new. The new population figure derived from the Bureau of American Survey show that Hispanic Texans make up 40.2% of the state population, and that's in 2021. While non-whites Texans make up about 39.4%. So right now, it's estimated that the Hispanics, any other state in the Union, in the United States, Texas outpaced any of them, and they have Hispanics here than any other state as far as facing all the other ones. So. But locally, when it comes to locally, and if anybody's interested, because sometimes I get a lot of questions about the upcoming elections. Guess what? Has anybody seen one yet? There is a copy of the ballot. I need to go look at this ballot. I always do that anyways. I know as mayor, as council, people always call me. Let me just give you a copy of the ballot. And here you got your governor's race, you got all your state races, you got your attorney, your comptroller, all that. And very important that people get out and vote. But on the county level, we also got important elections. We got county commissioners, we got judges that are going to be up for election. Now, when it comes to the city of Killeen, our municipal elections are usually in May. We don't have anybody in November, except during COVID. There's one off year. That's the first year that COVID hit, and they canceled municipal election and moved us to November. That was the first time. And normally, when I run for mayor, you're going to get less than 5,000 people that vote. And usually within that 5,000 is divided up. So as mayor, you probably need about 25 to 3,000 votes to win. And so when they moved it to November, I was running for mayor. I ran unopposed, and I created a history because I broke a record. No mayor in the history of Killeen has ever gotten over 30,000 votes. That's how many people voted for this. Like, wow, that record is going to be hard to beat. So 30,000 votes. But yeah, normally we don't have any thing that comes up unless we do something special. And this year, as far as the local level, we do have something special on the ballots. Does anybody know what that is? You guys are not into drugs, right? So that's the only thing that the city has on the ballot. This is an important one. Shall an initiative ordinance be approved to eliminate enforcement of low-level marijuana? How many of you, and you're brave enough, how many of you think it's a good idea to make marijuana? What? Anybody else? Yeah. Yeah. So that's what's going to be on the ballot, should you make low levels of marijuana and legal? It's 4 ounces. There is a lot of complication with that. So the question is, okay, 4 ounces. So how does the police know we got 4 ounces less? Question number one. How can the police enforce something that is against the law at the state level? That's question number two, because they're going against their duty. They get sworn, even us as elected officials, we have to hold to the state constitution, and it says marijuana is illegal. So are we going to be breaking the laws by making, say, okay. There's two sides to that, obviously, but that is an item that is going to be on the ballot. I think that it's a draw card. When I say draw card, is because it'll probably draw a lot of people to ballots. Remember, I said earlier when I first started, I said when there's something on the council that people think that is bad, or then it draws people. So I don't know if they think it's bad or they think it's good. So pretty sure we'll have a lot of people. But there's a language in there that we put on there so people can read it, go through that before they vote yay. It'll affect you guys here in school. It's like somebody out there smoking marijuana. So there's a lot of issues. So I encourage you to research that issue research it and say, these are all the things that are going to happen. Look at cities that have legalized, but that's the only thing that we have this, as far as the city have on the ballot that you have to, and then what's on the state, what's on the federal. So with that, I just want to put out a couple of dates here. Thought, since I have such a good crowd in here, the opportunity I get to share this, that I want to do it so you can share it to everybody else. And it's important because we want to get this. So early voting, usually in most races here in the county, most people do. So you don't want to wait, especially on the map. We have elections that have to do with house and stuff. A lot of times people get discouraged. Does anybody know when voting date is? Good. Let's vote. What is it? November 8th. Election. See, you gotta let people know when you gotta vote. You're 11. Too late. Early voting starts October 24th and goes to November. So they start early voting 4 days prior to. So that's plenty of time. Cool, 5 weeks. You always get that. So as a school, I could put that out. These teachers know that voting is October 24th. Put a copy of the ballot out there so they can start debating and say, this is what vote for. In Killeen, I want to get back to this to the local level because a lot of times people don't know this either. We have alternating elections. As I mentioned, we have elections on May. These are municipal. One thing that a lot of people may not know, how many people live